Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice. And by the 2013 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car 15 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful evening here in Toronto. It is outside Rogers Centre. Lots going on. This is the weekend for Cottage in the City. You can see they have brought the cottage inside the Rogers Centre. It's a gorgeous evening, 24 degrees. The roof is wide open and the fans are being enjoyed. The Cottage in the City. There are the Muskoka chairs out there in the outfield, and they've brought in some atmosphere to this ballpark. And a lot of fans on hand because the Baltimore Orioles are in town. The Orioles apparently second in the American League East. Now it's time for the starting lineups, brought to you by Quaker State, real durable oil. Baltimore Orioles scored a season-high 13 runs Wednesday in Detroit over the Tigers. Top of the order, Nate McLouth, and then the 20-year-old Manny Machado. This year, he has really worn out Blue Jays pitching to the tune of .419. He's hit 5 doubles and driven in 5 runs. Nick Markakis and then Adam Jones. There's nothing he likes better than coming to the Rogers Centre. .389 average this season. He's homered in his last 4 games here at Rogers Centre. 4 solo home runs. Jones has always hit the Blue Jays hard. Tonight, he will go up against R.A. Dickey.
And there you see the numbers for R.A. Dickey. He's making his 16th start of the year. In his most recent outing down in Texas, he got into the 6th inning before surrendering to the bullpen. Pitch count climbed a little bit, and he needs to work on that early in the game. Try to get some more quick outs and keep this in check so that his pitch count is more manageable.
Defensively behind Dickey, it's Cabrera, Rasmussen, Bautista in the outfield. Meiser Stewart making his 14th start at third base. Munenori, Kawasaki, Bonifacio up the middle. Adam Lynn at first base, and Josh Pulley makes his 4th start behind the plate. Munenori Kawasaki has been great at shortstop, but it's not going to be too long before Jose Reyes is back, and Kawasaki is going to lose that everyday role at short. R.A. Dickey throws the first pitch in there for a strike, and we are underway. Nate McLouth with a .288 average on the season. Ball on a strike. McLouth currently riding a 4-game hit streak against R.A. Dickey. He's 3 for 7. He's been a good table setter, Jack. He's got 24 steals, giving him a little dimension of speed.
Yeah, he gets on base. He can make things happen. He's a pesky kind of ball player. I think he's underrated in this league.
R.A. Dickey, a little tapper back to the mound. 1 down.
And that's a way to get a quick out to start the game. Little tapper back at R.A. Dickey.
We mentioned Dickey one-hit the Orioles last year. It was June 18th, and it was the second of 2 one-hitters he threw consecutively. He one-hit the Tampa Bay Rays in St. Petersburg, and then in his next start, he completed the one-hitter against the Orioles in New York. Manny Machado. He won't turn 21 until the 6th of July.
Yeah, it seems like a broken record. We keep talking about young third basemen on the opposition, but here is another guy that we both project to be a superstar in the game sometime soon.
Right back up the middle, and Machado has a hit. Manny Machado has worn out the Jays, as we had mentioned, and when you look at him at the plate, boy, he does a lot of things that impress.
Here's some of the hits that he's gotten against the Jays, and it seems like he can just make contact all the time. Hard guy to strike out, even for a knuckleballer like Dickey tonight. He can put the bat on the ball, and he gets hit after hit after hit, and a lot of doubles.
Manny Machado, one of the real rising stars in all of baseball. He's at first with a 1-out single. Nick Markakis, the right fielder, is the batter. Markakis takes his strike.
You know, Buck, this is one of the lineups in the game today that you don't really have a breather as a starting pitcher or as a relief pitcher. They've got solid players at every position.
Markakis fouls it back. I think the Orioles have the best position players in the American League. Adam Jones is the Gold Glover batting cleanup in center. Markakis is a terrific defender in right. He hits third. Machado He's going to be an all-star for a bunch of years.
And then there's Chris Davis, who's in a league of his own.
Markakis fouls it off and stays alive.
At least him and Miguel Cabrera are in a league of their own.
They play with the big boys, that's for sure. Chris Davis batting 5th tonight. But Markakis hitting .294, and he's hit well against the Jays throughout his career. He's had the misfortune of being injured here a couple of different times playing against the Blue Jays. There's Chris Davis with gaudy numbers, 337, 26 homers, and 66 driven in. Inside. Josh Tolley is catching R.A. Dickey for the 4th time, and Tolley, of course, was his catcher last year when Dickey won the Cy Young, so they know each other very well.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder what it's like for Josh Tolley, where he basically is catching a lot.
There's a drive to right. Bautista back near the track. He makes the catch. Gets the ball back in quickly. Machado is all the way down to second, but he hustles back to first. Markakis flies out to Bautista, 2 down.
Well, here Jose Bautista goes back to the wall, and he stays with it. We're going to get to see it here. Ball's hit. Kind of just keeps carrying towards the corner. Jose stays with it, never loses sight of the ball, knows where the wall is. Good play right there to save an extra base hit.
So Jones, the center fielder, steps in. Adam Jones. I mentioned his streak against the Blue Jays. He has hit in 16 straight games against the Jays and 24 of his last 25 games against the Blue Jays. He's hitting other people too.
Oh.
Got a 303 average.
Anyway, getting back to Josh Tolley in my conversation there, Henry Blanco was strictly only playing when R.A. Dickey pitched, and it seems like that's kind of the role that Josh Tolley has adapted. He was going to play a little bit more, but so far that really hasn't happened, especially with JP Arancibia starting to hit the ball a little bit better again and doing a better job behind the dish.
0-2 to Adam Jones. Cut on and miss. Jones strikes out. The Orioles are done in the first. They leave a base runner. The Blue Jays trying to extend their win streak to 9 straight. It'll be Melky Cabrera, then Jose Bautista, and Edwin Encarnacion top of the order when we come back. Not that far. What? Okay, you're all right. Couple inches into your left. Just a little bit. That is awesome. Another sign that this is truly becoming a team.
Well, Louis Rivera taking a couple days off for his daughter's graduation. He's welcome back, and that's Mark Burley's way of having fun with him.
Melky Cabrera against Jason Hamill. 5 for 13, a 385 average. He's the top of the order. And then Adam Lynn against Baltimore this year. He's at 500, 12 for 24, and those numbers were put up even before he got hot It'll be interesting to see what he does tonight against Jason Hamill.
Well, Jason Hamill's making his 15th start of the year. In the last outing, he allowed 4 earned runs over 6 innings. He has been a little bit off lately, so this might be a good time for the Jays to get on the board early.
Melky Cabrera looks at one outside. Cabrera, as we mentioned, 5 for 13 with a pair of home runs against Hamill. Look like the same pitch, but it's a strike. 1-1. Popped out of play. This is the 8th game these two teams have played this year. Baltimore has a 4-3 advantage. They split the 4 games here at Rogers Center and won 2 of 3 in Baltimore. Buck Showalter's ball club, a game out of first place, 42-31. John Gibbons trying to get to 500. Off speed pitch, and Cabrera strikes out. Wieters with the tag. That's 1 down. Take a look at the defense for the Orioles, and it's a good defensive ball club. In the outfield, former All-Star Nate McLeod, 2-time Gold Glover Adam Jones. Markakis has a Gold Glove to his credit. Manny Machado, the rookie at third, but not a rookie, he's just 20. J.J. Hardy has a Gold Glove. Ryan Flaherty's at second. Chris Davis at first, and Matt Wieters has a pair of Gold Gloves to his credit. Breaking ball behind Bautista's head. Fans react as if it was intentional.
I was teasing hitting coach Chad Mottola about scoring a bunch of runs, trying to have those multi-run innings. And the one thing he said to me, he says, I think we can do that, but this is a good defensive ball club. He said, we're going to have to find the holes.
I mentioned Matt Wieters behind the plate. He has truly become one of the elite catchers in all of baseball. Bautista pops it up over near the Orioles dugout. Chris Davis will run out of room. That's 4 rows back into the seats. Matt Wieters, a former #1 pick, took a while to really get it all together behind the plate, but he has won the last 2 Gold Gloves in the American League. He's making a 61st start behind the plate. He's an everyday catcher and a true leader of his pitching staff. Right at the knees. 2-2. Blue Jays, as we mentioned, haven't really been pummeling the baseball. Bautista goes upstairs and stays alive.
Oh, you mentioned Matt Wieters and what he brings to the pitching staff, and that's sometimes is really understated because catchers truly are the leaders. The pitchers dominate the game, and so a lot to do with how the catcher calls a game, receives a game. Matt's a big guy, but yet he still presents a great target.
Bautista goes around and strikes out on the breaking ball. That's back-to-back strikeouts for Hamill to start the game.
And you can see that his bat went way out around the plate.
So 2 outs. Edwin Encarnacion will stand in. And the first pitch struck with a breaking ball. We mentioned Hamill on the road. He has 6 wins. He's 6-1 on the road. That ties for the most wins in the American League. Felix Hernandez is also a 6-game winner on the road. He's 6-2. Chris Tillman, another Orioles starter, is 6-0 on the road this year. Good cut by Encarnacion. He fouled it straight back.
The Orioles have a 22 wins on the road, only 20 at home, so they've actually won more games on the road. And it tells you that solid defense and good everyday players can win you a lot of games.
1-2. Just inside. Orioles have won more road games than any American League team. Only the Cardinals have won more road games overall. St. Louis has 25 wins on the road. Breaking ball popped up into shallow right. Markakis got a late break, and it's going to drop over his head. Encarnacion is headed for second. Here's the throw. Not in time. Just when we're singing the praises of the defense, Markakis got fooled by that big swing, and Edwin Encarnacion ends up with a double.
Well, Ryan Flaherty, the second baseman, really never has a shot at this ball. He kind of drifts out towards it. And the right fielder, Markakis, he doesn't pick it up, doesn't get a real good jump. And you can see that it's going to land in between there. That's what Edwin reads that hop, and he's off to second base. It's a good base running right there, taking advantage of a miscue.
Edwin pops it up, and then he sees it might be trouble. That's when he begins to run. He's fortunate he got to second base. He came out of the box, assumed it was going to be a routine fly ball, but he's in scoring position for Adam Lind. The Blue Jays during this 8-game win streak have outscored their opponents 14-3 in the first 3 innings. Starting pitching shuts down the opponents. The hitters cash in early. Good combination.
Getting on the board first. And they've also done a great job of taking advantage of miscues from the other team.
Ball and a strike. We mentioned Lind hitting .500 against the Orioles this season. He's 12 for 24 against Baltimore. But he's just 1 for 8 in his career against Jason Hamill. Had a good rip and fouled it straight back.
94 mile an hour fastball. It was a little bit up and looked like Adam was just a split second behind that.
Swing and a drive, deep to right. Lind has done it again.
Well, Adam Lind right there gets the breaking ball after a fastball was just a little bit. He was a little bit tardy with it. Jason Hamill throws him the breaking ball, and it was a good pitch down in the zone. But what it did was speed up Adam Lind's bat, and he just dropped the head and sent it flying out to right field. There's the fastball, and you can see he's just a little behind it. He's usually on top of that ball. Then he throws a good break ball. See how far down it was? But that sped up the bat speed of Adam Lind, who just was able to keep his eye on the ball and concentrate.
Number 10 for Lind has given the Blue Jays an early lead. Boy, oh boy, how many times have you seen that as a pitcher where you'll throw one pitch, the hitter fouls it off, but he's late. But the pitcher thinks that he's right on it. Colby Rasmus behind 0-2.
Well, too many times I think pitchers get caught up with their breaking ball. Instead of early in the ball game just pounding that fastball until something like that happens, or at least a guy hits the ball hard. So many pitchers in the game today want to throw the kitchen sink in the first inning, and I think that's a big mistake.
I agree with you 100%. Don't change until you have to. Colby Rasmus has a home run against Jason Hamill. For his career, he's 3 for 11 against the Orioles right-hander. Boy, oh boy, you made a great point, Jack, about the Blue Jays taking advantage of a mistake. Edwin Encarnacion's blooper fell in for a double. And Lind cashed it in. There's another drive to center. Jones on the run at the track. Runs it down. Rasmus drives Adam Jones to the wall in center. The Blue Jays, as they've done throughout this streak, take a 2-0 lead. Adam Lind with a 2-out home run, his 10th of the season. The Blue Jays are up 2-0. having a red-hot bat Wednesday against Juan Nicasio. It's a 3-run home run in the first. That was his 9th, and the Blue Jays would ride that to a win against Colorado. And tonight, Lind again with another big swing in the first, a 2-run home run, and he's as hot as anybody in baseball.
Yeah, interesting. One on a fastball, the other one on a good breaking ball. So Adam's seeing the ball. He's covering both sides of the plate. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed pitcher, it doesn't matter right now.
R.A. Dickey staked to a 2-0 lead. Gets Chris Davis to chase. It's a ball on the strike. Chris Davis, we mentioned his great start to the season, a .337 average. Angel Hernandez called that a strike as Tolley had a tough time handling it. Good sign, early movement in the knuckleball for Dickey. Davis expands his zone and fouls it off. Chris Davis is second in the American League in RBIs to Miguel Cabrera. He leads in home runs. He is 7 home runs ahead of Cabrera and Encarnacion and Adam Dunn. They all have 19. Angel Hernandez called a foul ball. Chris Davis didn't think it was a foul ball because he took off at first. That's what R.A. Dickey's running up to Angel and talk about. Now John Gibbons is going to come out and help his pitcher. And Angel Hernandez will turn. He said, I had a foul ball. But the reaction of the batter would suggest otherwise. And now Angel Hernandez is going to call the third base umpire, Jordan Baker, down.
Well, all John Gibbons or R.A. Dickey's asking them to do is, hey, did any of you guys see a foul tip there? Because Dickey didn't see it, Tolley didn't see it. And they're just asking Angel, hey, why don't you try to get some help there? If everybody saw it, then it's a foul ball.
Well, and Chris Davis ran to first.
Yeah.
I mean, that suggests he didn't feel any foul tip. And now they call him out. Here comes Buck.
And Buck's going to give his 2 cents worth there. But you're right. Absolutely right. The fact that Chris Davis started off to first base is really what's telling the true story, because a hitter knows when he fouls a ball. He can feel it.
Now Buck's saying, Angel, you're standing 5 feet behind home plate and you're going to ask 2 guys 100 feet away who had it. And Buck's going to give him everything he's got right here. But Davis took off, and for me, that's a sign that he didn't make contact.
Well, you know, both managers, I think, have an argument. Buck Showalter has an argument that what are you letting somebody that's 120 feet away or 90 feet away or whatever they are at first and third make a call that you said was foul. And yet the whole idea of having a conversation with the other umpires, let's make sure we get it right.
Then you can see Angel Hernandez is listening to Buck. Buck's hot, and you can understand why.
Yeah, Buck's saying, look, I'm only 160 feet away in the dugout, but I heard a foul tip.
Yeah, he's right now talking distances. You were the closest, but
usually an argument does not get this far without the other umpires coming to interject and try to maybe push the umpire back into the dugout. And Buck is just, there he goes.
Of course, that gets the crowd here at Rogers Center all into the game. And he just threw all the umpires out. Well, Angel Hernandez, to his credit, let Buck argue and argue and argue, and really gave him an opportunity to go back to the dugout.
Yeah, he worked himself up a little bit there. And I know that he strongly believes in what he's trying to preach to the choir right now. But the fact is, the home plate umpire asked for help after John Gibbons asked him to get some help. And when they concluded that they didn't see a foul tip, Angel Hernandez called Chris Davis out. And that's why Buck got a little carried away there.
Here's the replay. There's the knuckleball. Watch the swing. And Davis clearly missed it.
Yeah.
I mean, he missed it by a wide margin. But the ball off the glove, the ball off the shin guard, all they make different sounds.
Yep.
And Angel Hernandez heard the ball hit the glove, then heard another sound, and it's tough on an umpire.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And it's tough for Buck Showalter. He's just arguing that, hey, how can you let somebody else that's way out there make that call? Chris Davis decided that one for everybody in the stands.
When he ran.
That's right.
Matt Wieters, the switch-hitting catcher. Batting left-handed, it's a 2-0 count. There's a fastball strike.
And we're seeing more and more fastballs from Dickey. That's one thing he's really been trying to work with when he does his side sessions, is locating that fastball down. It was a very effective pitch for him last year in the sequence of trying to keep hitters off speed, or off balance, I mean.
Three and one to Matt Wieters. Located that fastball down and had some movement on it. Full count, 1 out. Little excitement here. First of 3 against the Orioles. Tell you what, the Orioles understand what's at stake here. They need to try to cool off the Blue Jays. Blue Jays, of course, have won 8 in a row. The Orioles have won 2 in a row. Baltimore just a game back from the front-running Boston Red Sox, and this whole East is going to get jammed up before it's all said and done.
Buck, you and I both know as former players, when a team is on an extended winning streak, there's nothing more the opposition wants to do is to end that streak. I remember when I played for the Twins, we had a 15-game winning streak. We went into Baltimore, and Baltimore ended up beating us to end that streak, and you would have thought they had just won the World Series. They were so excited that they ended up winning that game.
Well, I think everybody in baseball understands that the Blue Jays, if they start rolling downhill, it'll be tough to stop them.
And they've got all the ingredients to be a winning team.
Wieters strikes out. Dickey came all the way back from a 3-1 count. That's 3 strikeouts in a row for R.A. Dickey.
Now you can see that knuckleball starting to dance a little bit for R.A. Dickey. It starts in her half and then just breaks down and in. Wieters swinging right over the top of it.
J.J. Hardy, the shortstop. Strike 1 to Hardy. There's a drive toward left. This ball is gone. J.J. Hardy has just cut the Blue Jays lead in half with his 15th home run of the season.
Well, I was just about to say J.J. Hardy is a very good fastball hitter, and I couldn't even get it out of my mouth, and that's exactly what R.A. Dickey threw him there. It stayed up in the zone, and it is a 2-1 game now.
Well, everybody in the East has picked up on the fact that R.A. Dickey will throw some fastballs from time to time. I'm not sure if that was a fastball or not. There's a pitch input offside of Flaherty, an inside pitch. So Hardy hits his 15th. Brian Flaherty, the second baseman. That hit him. So Flaherty will take first base. And after the first 2 batters struck out here in the second, Hardy goes deep, and now Flaherty reaches by getting hit by a pitch. So that'll bring to the plate Danny Valencia. Valencia is the DH batting 9th. Valencia is 28 years old. He first came to the big leagues with the Minnesota Twins in 2010. He takes a strike. You saw Valencia when he first came up. Looked like he was going to be a real fixture at third base for the Twins.
Well, he's got a world of talent, but again, one of those young ball players that just really hasn't figured out the team aspect of baseball. And I think that's something that Buck Showalter has given him maybe a last opportunity to understand.
Dickey's ahead 1-2.
Valencia is a very, very effective right-hand hitter against left-handed pitchers, and that's primarily his role for Baltimore right now, but he's going to throw him in against the knuckleballer tonight.
In his only full season in the majors in 2011, he had 15 home runs and drove in 72. He hit 246, and this looked like he was going to springboard from that and move forward, but he never really got any kind of consistency at the plate. He also committed 18 errors at third base, and that was a big problem.
Yeah, and most of that I really have to attribute to focus. When he puts his mind to it, this kid can do about anything he wants to do. But a lot of times, and that's part of learning the game, how every single play, every single pitch, you have to be ready.
There's a one-hopper hit to second. Bonifacio goes to first. The Orioles get on the board. J.J. Hardy connects a two-out solo home run, his 15th. It's a 2-1 Blue Jays lead.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet, brought to you by the 2013 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car 15 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful night at Rogers Center. The center field area is jam-packed. It is Cottage in the City over the weekend, and you can see they have dressed up Rogers Center, and the fans have turned out to enjoy the gorgeous weather here tonight. Lots of Muskoka chairs in and around Rogers Center over the weekend. And make sure you come on down tomorrow and Sunday afternoon, a couple of day games. And it's Cottage in the City over the course of the entire 3-day weekend. Myceris fights it off and falls behind 1-2. Hamill picks up the strikeout. That's 3 strikeouts now for Jason Hamill.
Just throws a fastball down lower half, and Meister kind of just swings right through this. He gets a good look at it, but swings underneath it.
So 1 down. Josh Tolley, the catcher, to face Jason Hamill. The fastball strike. Tolley is 2 for 5 going up against Jason Hamill. I haven't seen him a lot. The curveball missed up and away. Josh Tolley against Hamels, another left-handed bat. Henry Blanco was right-handed, of course. And the Blue Jays now have a little more diversity on their bench. Jose Reyes is playing tonight in AAA Buffalo, and hopefully he will have a good weekend. And all indications are that he will join the Blue Jays on Sunday and probably fly down to St. Petersburg for the upcoming road trip. Tolley stays alive.
Well, and if that's the case, Jose Reyes really deserves a lot of credit for how hard he's worked during his rehab. He really wants to be a part of this team. And of course, they're playing so well now. He's been away in this little hot streak as Tolley swings over top of another good breaking ball from Hamels.
Back-to-back strikeouts for the Orioles right-hander here in the second. That's 4 so far in this ball game. Got a good curveball working and put it in a good spot to get Tolley. So Emilio Bonifacio will bat with 2 outs, and boy, oh boy, wouldn't the Blue Jays love to get him on base on a regular basis? His own base percentage just .234. Certainly not able to take advantage of all that great speed.
Well, that's just it. He is probably the fastest of all Blue Jays that are currently here anyway. And what he can do from home to third or from first to home, it's just so much fun to watch, but he's got to get on base to do that.
Jays offensively in the month of June have a team on base percentage just .305. In the month of May, they hit .269 as a team and had a .337 on base percentage. But the pitching has picked up, the defense has tightened up, and now they're able to make the most out of their hits. Jason Hamels strikes out the side in the second. That's 5 already tonight for the Orioles. Big right-hander. It's a 1-run game after 2 at Rogers Center. Third inning, I want to send our thoughts and prayers to all of the people in Alberta, especially around Calgary, where you've been hit so hard by the floods, and we're all thinking about you. It's certainly a difficult time, but I know the community is a tough one, and you all will unite to help everybody out, and hopefully we'll see some blue skies and that situation will turn around for you. But we're thinking about you here at Rogers Center. Back to the top of the order, Nate McLouth grounded out to the pitcher in the first. This time he hits it to Adam Lind. He'll flip to Dickey, and McLouth has grounded out twice. Fans, it's time now for our BlackBerry Sneak Peek Stat of the Game, brought to you by the new BlackBerry Z10 and Q10, built to keep you moving.
And there you look at the Blue Jays earned run average for the month of June, #1 in all of American League. really tells a story about what has turned around for this ball club. That's one of the guys right there, Josh Johnson, who has contributed, going twice into the 7th inning. Of course, Esmail Rogers, who has just been fantastic since going to the bullpen. Mark Burley's pitched a lot better, kind of leading this team. And there's your number 1 guy, Ari Dickey. Of course, Chin-Ming Wong, since he came into the organization, has done a great job as a starter.
Ball on a strike to Manny Machado. There's strike 2. To give you an idea, the Blue Jays ERA in April was 4.52. In May it was 4.90, and in June it's 2.06. Dramatic turnaround. Cut on and miss. Machado strikes out.
Well, that right there might be a good sign for R.A. Dickey. The pitch to McLeod was a knuckleball that he got him to swing over top of. That one, tremendous movement right there, and to make that guy miss the bat is quite an accomplishment.
Dickey has 4 strikeouts. Nick Markakis flied out deep to right his first time up. Ari gets ahead of Markakis. Wow. A lot of movement to that knuckleball, but well off the plate inside. Ball on his strike. Markakis is now 29 years old. He had hamate surgery last June 1st. And he hit in the leadoff spot last year after he returned. He also suffered a broken thumb in September when he was hit by a pitch from CC Sabathia. Ball is driven into center. Kobe Rasmus is there. Orioles go down 1-2-3 in the 3rd. It'll be Kawasaki, Cabrera, and Bautista against Jason Hamill when we come back. Blue Jays Beach Towel giveaway Sunday, June 23rd, when the Blue Jays and Orioles wrap up this 3-game series. The first 20,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays Beach Towel. Call 416-341-1234 for tickets. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations and pick up your beach towel. It's all part of Cottage in the City over the weekend. And Sunday, it's Beach Towel giveaway day. Munenori Kawasaki, the number 9 hitter, goes after the first pitch and hits it sharply, but right to Flaherty at second. Fans, if you want your baseball questions answered by a team of experts, email asktheexperts@sportsnet.ca and keep your eye out for the Home Hardware Ask the Expert segment later on in the game. So back to the top of the Blue Jays order. Melky Cabrera struck out his first time up. a first pitch strike.
Well, all indications are that both pitchers are starting to feel the rhythm, have pretty good command. Hamill, of course, struck out the side the last inning, and R.A. Dickey is starting to get it going.
Hamill's got command of that curveball early in this ball game, and certainly that's a touch and feel pitch. The high fastball is popped down the left side. Long run for Machado, and he gets there. Boy, he ranged a long way down that foul line and makes the catch in foul ground.
Well, early in the year, that was the pitch that Melky Cabrera was having trouble with, the high fastball. He's swinging through a lot of them and chasing a lot of them out of the zone. And right there, he goes out of the zone there and chases a high pitch, pops it up. Machado makes a great play, making a tough play look very easy.
Jose Bautista struck out his first time up. Hamill has everything working right now.
Good sharp hook right there.
Popped up on the high fastball. That reaches the seats. Well out of play. Bouncing ball. Big hop for Flaherty. Jason Hamill has a quiet inning in the third. 1, 2, 3. The Jays are down in order. We'll go to the fourth. It's a 2-1 Blue Jays lead. R.A. Dickey and the Blue Jays have a 2-1 lead through 3 innings, and now that's 9 games where they have taken a 16-4 lead over their opponents in the first 3 innings. So the pitching is shutting down the opponents, and the Blue Jay hitters are coming up with timely hits. Tonight it's Adam Lind. He's done it again. A 2-run home run. Jones, Davis, and Wieters 4, 5, and 6 in the Blue Jay in the Orioles batting order. Jones didn't like that call. Thought it was off the plate inside. Dickey looks like he's got a little extra zip on his knuckleball tonight. And I know that's kind of an interesting statement, but this ball was popped up near the Orioles dugout. Tolle gets there and makes the catch. Josh Tolle got to that fence in front of the dugout and was able to lean in and make the catch.
Well, you're right on with Dickey in this knuckleball a little harder tonight. That one just tailed away from Adam Jones and he popped it up. Great job by Tolle to get over there knowing where he is with that little fence out in front of the dugout. keeping his eye on the ball.
Here's Davis. Davis struck out, and that's the play that led to the ejection of the Orioles manager, Buck Showalter. The first time that Buck has been ejected this year. Davis checked, and Hernandez said, I'm going to call it myself. I'm not going to ask for any help.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about Buck arguing anymore tonight.
And you can understand Buck's point. He said, hey, you were standing right there and you called foul tip, and then you let those guys change it. Dickey's working quickly tonight as well. To me, that's a sign that he feels good about what he's featuring.
Well, I think he does feel good. You can almost sense it tonight that he's got it working. He's able to throw it a little harder. It's dancing. It's Chris Davis for the second time. Anytime you can get Adam Jones and Chris Davis out of that order early in the game, you're going to have a little advantage.
Here's the knuckleball that really dances, and Tolley's able to hold on to the foul tip with that knuckleball glove. Bonifacio takes the hit away from Matt Waiters. A quick inning for R.A. Dickey. It took him just 8 pitches to retire the side in the order. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Blue Jays leading 2-1. For the FIFA Confederations Cup. It's a highly anticipated tune-up event for next year's World Cup. Tomorrow, Sportsnet World has Japan-Mexico. Visit sportsnet.ca/world for details on how to subscribe. Spain had an easy game over Tahiti, and it was kind of a mismatch, but Tahiti very proud of their efforts against Spain. Edwin Encarnacion, Adam Lind, and Colby Erasmus for the Jays against Jason Hamill, trying to figure out Hamill. So far, the only ones that have figured him out, Edwin Encarnacion had a bloop double with 2 outs in the first, followed by Adam Lind's home run. We mentioned Hamill 6-1 on the road. What is it about road that is always challenging for a pitcher?
Well, different mounds, not being accustomed to that. You've got to make that adjustment early. Sometimes the depth perception behind home plate can be deceiving. It makes you look like if the backdrop is real close to the catcher, you feel like you can throw really hard. And if the backdrop's way back there, you feel like, my goodness, am I ever going to get it to the plate? It's just a mind game that you have to play, and I think that's what that first inning adjustment's all about when you come from the bullpen mound to the mound on the field.
I find that interesting because most ballparks have really brought the seats closer to the playing field over the years. I don't know if you would have pitched in old Yankee Stadium and how far back that was. That must have been a challenge for you then.
Well, you didn't want to throw any pass balls, that's for sure. Wild pitches.
Full count. I believe it was 108 feet to the backstop from home plate. Almost as far as it was from home plate to second.
Yeah.
And I used to worry about pass balls and wild pitches because I figured if I got back there 220 feet from second, I could never make that throw.
Yeah, there was times like at the new ballpark, new, it's not new anymore, Cannon Yards. It was new to us.
Ground ball, Machado at third base, throws across the diamond, 1 out.
You felt like if you could just pinpoint a ball off the brick behind there, the runner might go and you could get the ricochet and tag him out.
So Adam Lind will step to the plate. His first time up was with a man on and 2 outs.
Well, Adam just so confident right now. He's seeing the ball so well. Takes a nice, quick, short swing. Drops the head of the bat on the ball, and away it goes.
Home runs are nothing new for these two ball clubs. They have hit them and they have given them up. In the games that the two teams have played, when you combine their home runs with their opponent's home run, Baltimore has averaged 2.7 home runs per game. That's a sharply hit ball right to Chris Davis. He'll go to the bag. The Blue Jays have averaged 2.5, so it's Baltimore and the Jays 1-2 in total home runs hit in their games this season.
And both teams have several guys that have been contributing. Chris Davis, obviously the big bopper for the Orioles. But you look around the infield, you know that J.J. Hardy's got a few. Of course, Adam Jones out in center field is probably number 2 on that list.
Colby Rasmus bats with 2 outs. Well, that's a good pitch. That get me over curveball. Nick Markakis in right, Jones in center. They've got some thunder in this lineup. And they're good ball players. Davis is a good base runner to go along with his prowess with the bat. Gold Glover J.J. Hardy at short. They're a complete team. The only thing that's missing, real depth in the starting rotation.
Yeah, they don't, at least right now, they don't have a guy that appears to be in the race for the Cy Young Award this year in the starting staff, but you never know. I mean, as the season goes on, more and more confident. They got a lot of good young arms, this guy being one of them. But they certainly haven't had a guy that's emerged as the stopper, the guy that you want to go to after a 2 or 3 game losing streak.
Rasmus strikes out. 2 more strikeouts for Hamill. He has 6 so far. We've played 4. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. Green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone are some lucky fans that received a free seat upgrade. Congratulations. Enjoy those big, comfy green chairs. And over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse are some very special guests from Variety Village. Welcome to Rogers Center. And we sure hope you enjoy the game. There's a Colby Rasmus fan and a young Jose Bautista fan, and I'm sure there are a few R.A. Dickey fans in the clubhouse. R.A. Dickey ready to start the fifth. Throws a pitch to J.J. Hardy. Hardy homered with 2 outs in the second. One and one. J.J. Hardy was hitting 191 on the 3rd of May. And he was really scuffling. At that point, he'd had 115 at bats, just 22 hits. But over the last 43 games, coming into tonight's game, he hit 327. Right back to Dickey, knocks it down. Kawasaki. Not a chance. Dickey got a piece of it and deflected it, and Kawasaki really didn't have a chance. Hardy with his second hit of the game.
He'll be on base as the leadoff man here in the 5th inning. Ball right back up the middle, and looked like Dickey just about got his glove out in front, but not quite getting there in time. Ball's hit hard, and it'll be ruled a base hit.
Bouncing ball. Lynn looks at second and gets the lead runner. Boy, that was a good play. He took a look and took a shot, trusted his arm, and he threw a strike to second. That keeps the double play in order.
Yeah, that's just a heads-up play right there, knowing that you have to make an accurate throw, but if you make that accurate throw, you're not going to get the double play, but you get the lead runner. And he sees Kawasaki there and just throws him a strike.
Well, that's good play. Lynn, making his 28th start at first base, made a strong, accurate throw to the shortstop.
Those are the little things that you can do as a position player to help preserve a run, save an inning. You're in a close game right now, 2-1. Pitchers are really kind of getting dialed in. And to do the little things like that to prevent further damage and possibly keep a double play in order. Good heads-up play by Adam Lynn.
Danny Valencia, the DH, batting in the 9th spot. Takes one off the plate inside. It's 2-0. That play by Lind is reflective of the confidence this team has right now on defense, and they're really playing tight defense of late.
The easy thing to do is just grab the ball and go to the bag and get the out. Get the sure out. Nobody's going to question you. You just say, well, nobody would even ask you. Writers won't ask. Nobody's going to question anything. But you're taking a little bit of a risk throwing the ball because you know you have to throw a strike, otherwise it could end up in left field. Runner could end up at third base or even score. But you take the chance and make a good accurate throw and get a good result.
Dickey throws a strike. It's now 3-1 to Valencia. Flaherty at first. Strike 2. Nate McLeod is on deck. He's grounded out twice so far. He's the leadoff man. Blue Jays have a 2-1 lead.
Now Dickey wants to keep that runner on first. He needs to throw a strike here.
There goes Flaherty. The ball is lined to the shortstop, and that'll be a tailor-made double play. Everything is breaking in the Blue Jays' favor. Lynn made a nice play at first, and Kawasaki a good grab of a line drive and ends the inning with the double play. for live baseball. Listen to live audio, follow games pitch by pitch, and enjoy in-game video highlights. The app is available on the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Android, and BlackBerry Z10. Season-long subscription packages are available for $19.99. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. At BAT 13 is the official app of Major League Baseball. Jason Hamill gets ahead with that get-me-over curveball. Meister Asturias struck out in the second. Both pitchers doing a good job of racking up the strikeouts. Hamill has 6 through 4 innings. R.A. Dickey has 5. Here's the 2-1. Upstairs, it's 3-1. Orioles are here for 3 games over the weekend. Then Blue Jays go to St. Petersburg to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Then after that, it's a 4-game set at Fenway Park.
Well, Meister doing a good job working the count into his favor, and then he gets the pitch that he really wants. The fastball basically right down the middle, just fouling it off to the left side.
Lead off walk.
The 2013 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car 15 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Busy down at Queens Quay. A lot of boats in. The tall ships are in, so it's a busy weekend ahead. Josh Tolley, the catcher, takes one inside. Good crowd on hand, and look at this. The young lady caught the ball in her hat.
Well, if you're not wearing it, I guess you might as well use it as one of your fielding weapons.
Asturias dives back into first as the Orioles may be thinking about a hit and run here. Tolley, the catcher, at the plate.
They've got Machado pulled in at third base. Davis is even with the bag at first. Short and second at double play depth.
Asturias doesn't have a stolen base this year. Matt Reeders is one of the best at throwing out base runners. 48% so far, and he has a strong, accurate arm. There goes Asturias. Hit and run is on. Second baseman was holding his ground, and Asturias slides into second. Tolley does his job. By starting the runner, the Blue Jays stay out of the double play.
Well, that's why you hit and run in certain situations right there. Meister Asturias going with the pitch, and Tolley hitting it sharply right at the second baseman. That would be a routine double play with Tolley. Doesn't run well down the line, but he gets the runner to second base and puts him in scoring position.
Isn't it interesting how easy it is to encourage the players to play small ball when you're winning? It's so evident when it counts.
I think they're more willing to give themselves up for the team effort when things are going well. When they execute the little things and it starts becoming habit, it's a lot easier. Let's face it, everybody has more fun when the boys are playing well.
Emilio Bonifacio struck out on a fastball his first time up. Asturias at second. The leadoff walk. But it's so easy to see the results of a good at bat. Tolley grounds out to second, but because the runner was moving, he's got a runner advanced into scoring position.
Well, unfortunately, you don't get paid for stuff like that. It's too bad sometimes that you don't, because those are little things to help the team win. And yet, you get paid for the long ball, you get paid for RBIs, and on-base percentage, and all those great numbers that the sabermetrics guys really love. But the real baseball guys enjoy those little things, and teammates should really congratulate and emphasize getting the little things accomplished to help you win a ball game.
2-1, 1 out. Bonifacio hits it high and deep to right. Markakis over near the wall. Stays with it, reaches in, makes the catch. Izturis tagged at second, and he moves over to third. Markakis knows this ballpark very well. He went right to that wall and leaned in to pick up the second out of the inning.
Well, it takes good focus for the right fielder Markakis to go into the stands. And you see it here. You got the guard getting out of the way and the fans kind of giving him the room, diving over the wall there. Good focus.
This is Markakis' 64th game here at Rogers Center, so he's very familiar with how much room he has down there in the right field corner. Munenori Kawasaki takes the first pitch strike. Kawasaki grounded out to second on the first pitch he saw back in the third. Off the plate, ball on a strike. Jason Hamill is 7-4 for the season. This is his 15th start. As we mentioned, he's won 6 of his 8 road starts. The Orioles, as a team, are 7-1 in his 8 starts away from Camden Yards. There's a base hit into center. Kawasaki drives home Izturis. It's 3-1 Blue Jays. RBI number 15 for Munenori Kawasaki.
And the fans just showing their appreciation for that young man right there. You know, you can't emphasize enough how they produce that run right there. That's small ball, but that's good baseball right there, and good base running by Meister Izturis. Good job by John Gibbons knowing when to hit and run, and then you get the good focus and concentration from the number 9 hitter to drive in the run. Big insurance run there. Now they're up by 2.
Back to the top of the order. Boy, it is big when you can get the bottom third of your lineup producing runs. They're going to have to do that against the AL East. You're going to face tougher pitching. You're going to have tougher at bats, and you're going to have to start scratching and clawing for runs.
There's a saying, quotation by Tom Kelly, the manager, ex-manager of the Minnesota Twins, hanging in the Twins' home locker room. And the quotation says, and I think it's only fitting here on Cottage weekend, Cottage in the City, it says, "We're all in the same boat together. Everybody grab an oar." Kind of emphasizes that it's a team sport.
It is truly a team sport. And the Blue Jays are playing like a team for the first time all season. Melky Cabrera went after that high pitch. You mentioned it earlier when Cabrera chased the high pitch and fouled it off. That was the problem that he had early in the season.
Yeah, and I think he knows it. It's just so hard for him. It's such a temptation. You see that ball bigger than a beach ball. As it comes in, you think he can get the bat head on top of the ball, and you really end up swinging underneath it.
Way off the plate inside. Cabrera batting for a 3rd time already tonight. We are in the bottom of the 5th. Reached for that ball and fouls it out of play. You can see that Hamill hasn't thrown a strike yet, and it's a 2-2 count. That's what Cabrera did so well when he got hot. He was patient. He forced the pitchers to throw him good pitches, and when he got his good pitch, he didn't miss it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Adam Lind is doing right now so well, is he's only swinging at strikes.
This might not be a good time to gamble, even though Wieters throws so well. 2 outs, you've scored a run, you got the leadoff man at the plate. See if you can't get another runner into scoring position. Kawasaki has 7 steals. Not going. There he goes. The delay was on, and Cabrera strikes out. But the Blue Jays had a run. We've played 5. They have a 3-1 lead. Fans, here comes the Home Hardware Cleanup Crew. Brought to you by Natura, Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products. More baseball right here on Sportsnet. Tomorrow, the Pittsburgh Pirates will be in Anaheim to take on the Los Angeles Angels. It all starts at 10 p.m. Eastern Time at 7 p.m. Pacific Time right here on Sportsnet 1. The Angels trying to move up in the AL West. They've won their last 2, 6 of the last 10. While the Pittsburgh Pirates are stuck in 3rd place, 4 games back of the front-running Cardinals in the NL Central. Leadoff man, Nate McLouth. Grounded out to the pitcher, grounded out to the first baseman. Ball and a strike. Base hit to left field for McLouth. R.A. Dickey has 5 strikeouts through 5 innings, and he's really had a good knuckler tonight.
Well, he's making it dance. When his knuckleball is working, it's very effective. But it's got to be in the strike zone early in the game in order for him to expand the strike zone later. Of course, that leadoff man is always important. You don't ever have enough runs not to want to get that first hitter out. And of course, Nate McLouth just led off the inning with a base hit to left.
Manny Machado is 1 for 2. Machado had a single. He's also struck out. R.A. Dickey's season high in strikeouts is 10. They came against the Giants on the 14th of May right here at Rogers Center. Ball driven to right. Bautista backs up. Makes the catch. Machado is retired. The Blue Jays are just 1 game from 500 at 35-36, and over the last 40 games, it's been the pitching that has allowed them to turn things around.
No question. It really started when the starters are getting deeper into the games. Defense has been kind of solidified in the infield. They've done a lot better job there. And then the bullpen, really, for me, is when Neil Wagner and Juan Perez were called up in Atlanta. It really brought some power arms to the bullpen, and they have been rock solid ever since those 2 guys have been called up. But the starters have done such a better job, including Josh Johnson, Chin-Ming Wong, and of course R.A. Dickey here. Needs to get deep into this game. His pitch count pretty good right now at 75 pitches.
There's a good knuckler in there for his strike. It's 1-1 to Nick Markakis. Markakis has flied out twice tonight. Inside. Pelly's done a nice job of catching that knuckleball tonight. He hasn't had too many get past him.
It's funny what you do as a catcher sometimes to try to make that ball appear to be a strike for the umpire.
Well, it's hard on the umpire, too. We always talk about how tough it is to hit, how tough it is to catch, but it's also a challenge for the umpire because he relies a lot on timing as well. That ball getting into the strike zone.
It'd be interesting to know your take on what an umpire sees with a bigger glove. They always use that big basket-type glove for a knuckleball pitcher, and you think that makes it more difficult for the umpire also?
I think it does. You just never really know where that ball hits in that glove. 3-1 way outside. Totally did a good job of flagging that one down. Adam Jones has homered in 4 straight games here at Rogers Center. And he's hit every kind of pitch, including the knuckler off Dickey.
Well, when he extends those arms, he is one strong young man. And he has seen the ball well in this building. R.A. Dickey's done a good job the first 2 go-arounds here tonight, striking him out in the first inning. A little fly ball to Josh Tolley in the second at bat.
Jones has hit in 16 straight games against the Blue Jays here at Rogers Center. He's hit in 4 games this season. Hit home runs in 4 games. And if you go back to last September, he's homered in 5 straight games here at Rogers Center.
Okay, I won't go back then. All I know is he's a good hitter, and he's going to take a healthy swing, and you just hope that
there's a base hit through the left side. Melky Cabrera comes up, and the ball is going to be cut off. And Adam Jones has extended his personal hit streak to 17 straight here at Rogers Center. He drives it around. It's a 1-run game.
Well, that's what makes Baltimore so good is you got these guys in the middle of their order. Adam Jones and Chris Davis really are their 1-2 guys as far as run production. They can not only drive the ball and hit with power, but they've got great averages, and they're just focused every at bat. Right there, Adam Jones gets a ball that really broke quite well, but he saw it. He's seen enough of them.
Chris Davis drives it to left, and he's hit another home run. Chris Davis with his 27th home run, an opposite field 3-run homer, and just like that, Jones and Davis do it again to the Blue Jays.
I don't even know how you can describe how strong this guy is. Chris Davis going the other way right there. There's no part of the ballpark that's safe when he makes contact. And he does it so effortlessly. He looks like he's got a long sweeping swing, and that's typically not that short compact one, but he's so strong with his hands, just quietly deposits that ball into left field.
Over the last 2 seasons with that home run, Chris Davis has driven in 24 runs. That's tied for the most against the Blue Jays with Evan Longoria. Jones picks up his RBI. That's the 19th he's had against the Blue Jays over the last 2 seasons. These 2 guys have absolutely worn out the Blue Jays, and right now Chris Davis is hitting the ball as hard as anybody. Popped up, Kawasaki, the shortstop, in fair territory, makes the catch, and Wieters is retired. Boy, he's making a shambles out of the home run race in the majors.
Yeah, he's going to make it hard for Miguel Cabrera to win the Triple Crown because he's going to have to hit about 55 to 60. You just get that feeling that Chris Davis is going to be in the 50-plus home run category this year.
An 8-homer lead over Miguel Cabrera. J.J. Hardy pops it up. This should end the inning. Bonifacio in shallow right makes the catch, but Adam Jones and Chris Davis drive in runs. The Orioles have taken a 5-3 lead. It'll be Bautista leading things off, followed by Encarnacion and Adam Lind with a 2-run home run already tonight. Cottage in the City, which is presented by Ontario. Yours to discover will continue the next 2 days. Saturday and Sunday, the Blue Jays will take on the Orioles. Bring the Cottage to the city of Toronto for the weekend. Enjoy the pregame festival outside Gate 10. There's live music, a licensed area, sun, sand, and lots of Muskoka chairs. Call 416-341-1234 to order your tickets. Log on to BlueJays.com and also order your tickets that way online, or you can always stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Jose Bautista goes after that high pitch and fouls it back over the seats out of play.
Well, this is where the Blue Jays are going to have to grind it out if they expect to get back into this ball game. You get too deep and you get into Jim Johnson country, and it's going to be tough. Johnson did blow a save here early in the year, but he's back on track again.
That's the real strength of that back end of their bullpen, is having Jim Johnson down there. He's got more saves than anybody in the last 2 years. Got 3 lefties and 4 right-handers in their bullpen. Off the plate. 2 balls and a strike to leadoff man here in the 6th. Blue Jays trail by 2.
Yeah, another ball right down Broadway. Jose Bautista is just falling off. He's had a tough time squaring up those pitches. When he's swinging the bat well, those balls are driven hard.
He gets out in front of that ball and hits it 9 miles, but it's foul into the upper deck. Here's the 2-2. Full count. Jason Hamill has struck out 7. Edwin Encarnacion, standing on deck, has doubled and scored tonight. Full count pitch to Bautista. Drives this ball to left. Nate McLeod will make the catch on the warning track. 1 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Thank you, Jamie. They have given John Lester a comfortable lead. Lester is looking to get things turned around. He hasn't been throwing very well of late. 4 innings, 5 hits, 1 run allowed for Lester, as the Red Sox have taken an early lead, and they jumped all over Doug Fister. Edwin Encarnacion goes off to that inside pitch and fouls it up. A quick look at his bat to see if he broke it, because Hamill really got inside on his hands.
Jason Hamill has really pitched well here in this game. He's throwing the breaking ball both on the outer corner and then off the plate when he needs to, and he's running that fastball in on the right-handers. Got a good breaking ball tonight.
Down and away, it's 2-2. Adam Lind has homered tonight. The Blue Jays have now hit 12 home runs in 8 games against the Orioles. They have hit 13 home runs against the Red Sox in 9 games. That's the highest total against an American League East Division ball club. Just foul. Another pitch inside, and that's about all Encarnacion can do with that pitch.
Yeah, when you keep it down like that, a hitter can get his arms out, but usually hard to get underneath that ball and get any lift.
Blue Jays 3 runs on 3 hits. 2 of those hits came in the first inning. Boy, he's staying right inside on his hands.
Yeah, that last pitch looks a lot like the pitch that Esmil Rogers has developed. That good sinking fastball down and in on right-handers. Late movement, and just eats up those hitters. All they can do is what Edwin just did, was foul it off. You feel like you've accomplished something.
Another pitch inside. Rogers will open up the Tampa Bay series. He'll be matched up against Jeremy Hellickson. That'll take place Monday. Rest of this series, Chen-Ming Wong will go up against Miguel Gonzalez tomorrow afternoon, and Josh Johnson and Zach Britton more than likely in the finale. Here's another 2-2 pitch, and got it out over the plate, but he fouled it straight back.
Edwin doing a great job of battling here with a full count, or excuse me, 2-2 count.
Well, Hamill has a little breathing room now that he's been given a 2-run cushion. Foul ball just outside the bag at third. Jordan Baker, the third base umpire, had a good look at it, and Encarnacion is having quite a battle against Jason Hamill.
He's bringing his pitch count up. I don't know what that means for the bullpen, and Buck Showalter, of course, out of the game, so it's going to be a decision that the pitching coach Rick Adair is going to have to make.
High and deep to left, Encarnacion won the battle. Goodbye home run.
Well, you see enough pitches and you feel like you can adjust to almost anything. That was not a bad breaking ball, but he left it over the middle of the plate. It was down, and Edwin just gets such great extension, and the ball just jumps off his bat there and goes way deep into the second tier.
Great extension, Encarnacion. His 20th home run of the season has made it a 1-run game. Rick Adair, the pitching coach, has made his way from the Orioles dugout. Take another look at this pretty home run swing.
A lot like Chris Davis's home run swing. It looked like there was hardly any effort. Both those guys are so strong, but it's all about where their hands are and how they turn their wrists over when contact is made. They get such great extension, and that's what generates that bat speed right at the right moment.
We mentioned that these two clubs have matched up for the most home runs per game during their individual games, and tonight there have been 4 home runs hit in this ball game already.
You know, the one thing that I look at, both Encarnacion and Chris Davis and the home runs that were hit tonight, is the only way you can successfully pitch those guys is power pitch them in. And it's not easy to do. You can't make mistakes over the plate.
That's an interesting take. So you're saying you have the best opportunity to crowd them.
You've got to crowd them, because when they extend their arms, they are supermen. They're strong, and they can generate tremendous bat speed.
Lynn hits the one hopper right to Flaherty. That's the second out of the inning.
Come find out why more Canadians trust Mr. Lube's trained technicians with their oil changes than any other quick lube. We're #1 for a reason. Take good care.
Troy Patton, the left-hander, begins to loosen up for the Orioles. 2 outs. So 5-4 Baltimore lead. Kobe Rasmus takes one downstairs.
That's the 97th pitch for Jason Hamill. So he's getting to that critical part of a ball game.
Ball is hit off the end of the bat to left. Nate McLouth comes in, makes the catch. The Blue Jays have scored a run. Edwin Encarnacion connects for his 20th home run of the season. It makes it a 5-4 Oriole lead. Blue Jays are down by a run. compared to last season, compared by different situations. None on last year. He held opponents to a 227 average. You can see they're hitting better against him. But then the numbers really become alarming when you look at runners on and runners in scoring position. In 2012, when he was the Cy Young Award winner, he pitched to a 177 batting average. It's up over 300 this year, and he just hasn't been able to get away with too many pitches when he's got runners in scoring position.
Especially when he's got 2 outs. And that's kind of an alarming statistic right there. Shows that he's just not bearing down and kind of relaxing with 2 outs instead of just putting them away. And it's so important to get all the outs in an inning, but you don't want to have it happen with 2 outs.
His runners in scoring position with 2 outs a year ago, 153. This year, 341. He just hasn't been able to close out innings. 7-8-9 for the Orioles. Check that. It's Ryan Flaherty leading things off. Flaherty is the number 8 hitter. Brett Cecil, who is on some run right now, starting to loosen up.
Just 2 hits in his last 58 batters, 21 strikeouts. He's retired the last 38 batters he's faced. Just an incredible run for the left-hander.
And Cecil is a Maryland native who pitched at the University of Maryland. You could forget about this one. This is long gone off the bat of Ryan Flaherty. And just like that, the Orioles get that run back. Ryan Flaherty with his 3rd home run of the season.
Well, and that's another thing that the starting pitcher and the pitching staff in general has done a great job of not giving up a lot of home runs. And yet here tonight, the 3rd one, the big blow being the one from Chris Davis, the 3-run homer back in the 6th inning. But 3 home runs already tonight off R.A. Dickey.
And you can see Flaherty didn't overswing, just kind of stayed with the ball and drives it out of the ballpark. A leadoff home run here in the 7th. Danny Valencia takes a fastball strike.
Another great extension right there. And like you mentioned, Buck, not over swinging.
So the Orioles came in with 98 home runs. That's first in the American League, and they have added to their total now with 3 more tonight. Pulled on the ground. Foul at 3rd. Asturias ranging into foul territory, but it was just outside the bag.
I had a very interesting conversation with Buck Showalter prior to the game today, and we talked about a lot of things. And one of the things he was asking me, he says, Jack, do you remember when you played here? This ballpark being such a home run type ballpark. Balls are flying out of here. And I said, no. He said, what's changed? And I showed him how they had taken out the windows out there in center field. And I said, other than that, the dimensions are the same. Nothing that I know of has changed. And yet we're both a little puzzled to why the balls are jumping. And they really are.
You guys had a pretty good pitching staff.
Well, yeah, but mistakes still go a long way. It didn't matter when.
It does seem like the ball has really traveled well, not only this year, but the last several years here at Rogers Center. There have been a lot of condominiums added around, big tall buildings all around Rogers Center. Some people think that that might have changed the currents.
Yeah, the prevailing winds and how they're affecting off the lake. Of course, it's a pretty calm day, not a lot of wind.
That guy could hit him in Yosemite. Big parks. Full count, outside. Number 9 hitter Danny Valencia takes a walk, and here comes John Gibbons. He's already made the call to the bullpen. R.A. Dickey is not aware of that yet, but Brett Cecil is going to be summoned into this game. Nate McLouth is a left-handed hitter. He's the leadoff now. See, R.A. Dickey looked like he was asking about that pitch to Flaherty. He hands the ball over to John Gibbons, who in turn will hand it over to Brett Cecil. Nobody's been as good as Cecil of late. R.A. Dickey leaves trailing by 2. Man on and nobody out here in the 7th. And his last 38 batters, he is not allowed a hit. Last 58 batters, just 2 hits, 21 strikeouts, 3 walks, but 2 intentional walks. Jack, he is on some roll right now.
No question. I don't even know how to describe it. All I can say is it is as good as anything I've ever seen in the game. And he is commanding both that breaking ball and his fastball. He's always ahead. His confidence is just radiating right now. There's his total numbers for the year: 3-0, 1.46 ERA. Just incredible numbers. All-star type quality stuff, in my opinion.
Hey, McLeod, after showing bunt on the first pitch, fouls off the breaking ball. The bullpen has been as good as Brett Cecil overall. 24 consecutive scoreless innings thrown by the Blue Jays bullpen.
Yeah, and you just wonder if it's too late to continue that tonight. This is a good hitting ball club, but if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to run that number up a few more innings.
There's a drive into right. Bautista looked like he was battling the lights, makes the catch. McLeod is retired.
Well, McLeod had a nice swing there, but that ball got in on him. He didn't have any authority with that ball and hit it right out to Jose in right field. See this pitch running in. Doesn't get the good part of the bat on the ball.
Manny Machado is 1 for 3. Singled off Dickey in his first at bat. Had a line drive single to center.
Great location of that breaking ball. It starts off about belt high and just dives toward the back foot. Machado sees the ball in the strike zone. He recognizes that as a breaking ball, but still ends up swinging over the top of it. That's how hard and sharp it is. Another one right there on the black. Knee high.
Pitching with great confidence.
Great location. Everything's just clicking right now for Brett Cecil.
Brett Cecil on in relief of R.A. Dickey. 1 out. Top of the 7th inning. Orioles have expanded their lead to 2 runs. It's 6-4 Orioles. Strike 3 called. Cecil dots the I on the outside corner. His first strikeout of the night.
Well, it's another one of those things that I think as the word gets out throughout the league, umpires are going to start giving the good pitchers the benefit of the doubt. It's always been that way in the game. And you might start getting the ball an inch or so outside, 2 inches off the plate, when you show that home plate umpire that you can command your pitches.
2 outs. Nick Markakis. Cecil, by recording 2 outs tonight, and hitters are 0 for 2. Now that runs his streak to 40 without a hit, 0 for 2. Opponents are 0 for 37 against Cecil. Longest streak since Charlie Furbish of Seattle did that in 2012. He had 37 straight at bats without allowing a hit. Cecil during that stretch has had 3 walks, 2 intentional walks. Ball and a strike in the dirt, smothered by Tolley. There goes the runner, and Cecil went to first, and there's the tag at second. Danny Valencia went on first move, and he is thrown out at second. Blue Jays trail by 2.
Challenge? Try all 3 new flavors today and cast your vote on Facebook for a chance to win some big chunky prizes.
Beautiful evening here at Rogers Center. Full moon out, just up against that twilight evening sky. New pitcher for the Orioles will be the big right-hander Tommy Hunter, taking over for Jason Hamill. Hamill, who goes 6 innings, in line for his 7th win on the road this year.
Just for a minute there, I thought that big white thing in the sky was a hanging breaking ball.
Tommy Hunter, his 29th appearance of the season. You can see his numbers. He's been impressive. Right-handed batters batting 129 against Hunter. He gets ahead of Myceris with the first pitch breaking ball. Hunter is a former starter who has really found a home in the Orioles bullpen. There's a base hit for Astoris. That's the way the Blue Jays start here in the 7th. Jason Hamill looking for his 7th win on the road, his 8th overall. He went 6 innings, allowed 4 hits, 4 earned runs. He gave up a pair of home runs. Walked the batter and struck out 7 through 98 pitches during his 6 innings.
Well, he stands to be the winner if the bullpen for the Orioles can hold on.
Josh Tolley jumps back from an inside heater. Hunter can bring it.
Yep, 97 miles an hour on that fastball right there. So that's running it up there.
Bottom of the 7th inning. Tolley fouls that one right off his foot. He didn't wear that shin guard, and boy, that ball came directly down, hit him on the leg. Angel Hernandez is going to go out and ask for the baseball just to give Tolley some time to regroup. Professional courtesy between umpires and catchers. Ouch. Right on the shin. No meat there.
No, that just hurts.
Ball and a strike to the Blue Jays catcher. Drives this one to left. Nate McClout has plenty of room. He's backing up. Isturis is halfway. He'll go back to first. So the number 8 hitter, Emilio Bonifacio, will stand in with Isturis at first. Blue Jays, bottom part of the order, manufactured a run back in the 5th. Isturis had a leadoff walk. He was moved up on a hit and run by Josh Tolley, then advanced to third on a fly foul out, and then was picked up by Munenori Kawasaki, a 2-out RBI single. Foul back. 0-2. Blue Jays are going to have to turn it up a notch against Tommy Hunter. Get that fastball that he'll consistently throw in the upper 90s. Hunter's now 27 years old. He's a former starter. Came from the Texas Rangers.
And he knows what he has in that fastball. That's his number one. Matt Wieters, of course, the smart young catcher for the Orioles, understands. Emilio Bonifacio is not the kind of guy you want to speed up his bat by throwing anything off speed.
Strike 3 call. He went right back to that fastball. Bonifacio is called out on strikes. So R.A. Dickey is the pitcher of record for the Blue Jays. He goes 6 innings plus 2 batters, gives up 7 hits, 6 earned runs. He walked 2, struck out 5, and it's the 6th time this year that he has allowed 6 or more earned runs in 16 starts. Last season, he allowed 6 or more only once. All season long, that happened early in the season. April 18th at Atlanta. Tommy Hunter made Kawasaki do a little dance getting out of the way of this pitch.
Well, I've always said that's a very meaningful pitch. If you're going to come in, make them move their feet. You know, I like that even more with power hitters. Number 9 hitters usually don't have to do it too, but it sends a message that you're willing to go in there. You're not headhunting. You're not trying to drill a guy. You're just moving his feet. Hard to hit when your feet are moving.
Isturis at first. Kawasaki hits it high and deep to right. Markakis at their track. Home run, Kawasaki! Number 1.
Well, listen to this crowd. Munenori has a 2-hit night, his first home run as a Blue Jay. And if he doesn't bow to everybody, there it is. There it is. Great job. They just love this player. The great teammate. He cheers for everybody, every single pitch of the game. And now he picks up his fellow teammates.
first big league home run, and why not take a curtain call?
Very good.
He's got a big league homer.
Let's start all over.
Brand new ball game. Kawasaki with 3 RBIs in the game.
I think he knows that Reyes is coming back, and he just wants to make it impossible on the Jays.
Look at the smiles in the dugout. He is a great teammate, and Tommy Hunter threw him a breaking ball for some reason.
Hung that slider, and I remember that little story I was telling you about that big white thing in the sky, the moon. That's what it looked like when you hang those sliders.
Melky Cabrera drives one into right. Markakis gets over and cuts it off. Cabrera will stop it first. Boy, you talk about a momentum changer. Noodle has done it again.
You know, he's got this entire crowd electrified. All his teammates, they absolutely adore him. And it's so fun to see him contribute because of the energy it brings his ball club.
Melky Cabrera is out of the game for the pinch runner, Rajay Davis. Davis will come on as a pinch runner. John Russell, the acting manager, has come to the mound and made a pitching change. Tommy Hunter is out of the ball game. A new pitcher will be in. Looks like Darren O'Day, the right-hander. Big league home run here in the 7th inning, and you can see the joy in that dugout. Mark Burley's the one that pushes him out onto the warning track so he can take a well-deserved curtain call. 2 hits tonight, 3 RBIs, and he has tied the game up.
And there's the new pitcher, Darren O'Day. He's done a great job in the Orioles bullpen. Coming in here to put out a fire.
Melky Cabrera singled. Rajay Davis at first. He's a threat to run. There he goes. He got a great jump. Weeder's throw is not in time. Rajay Davis comes off the bench and swipes it easily. Picks up his 14th steal in 15 tries.
And you kind of wonder, how does a guy come off the bench and have that kind of speed? And I can tell you there's not anywhere in the clubhouse that a guy can run, especially with spikes on. So you just have to get loose and maybe jog in place as he's in the bench. He knows his role. He knows that that is a situation that he could be called upon.
Breaking ball, O'Day, the side honor, drops the breaking ball in there to Bautista. It's a ball and a strike.
And now Jose has an opportunity to have the go-ahead run be driven in. He can contribute here tonight.
Off the plate outside. It was Bautista's 2-strike, 2-out home run in Chicago that started this winning streak. He hit a home run off the closer Addison Reed to tie it up at 5-5. The Blue Jays won it in the 10th. That started this 8-game win streak. 2-1 to Bautista. 2 outs. Way outside. Edwin Encarnacion lurks on deck. Edwin homered his last time up. He has a homer and a double. The 2 home run hitters, Kawasaki, Encarnacion, and Lind homered in the first. Full count. Bautista only has 2 hits in 10 at-bats against O'Day, but they're both home runs.
And all it takes is one good swing.
And Bautista strikes out. That ends the inning. But the Blue Jays have stormed back to tie it. It's a 6-6 ball game. Munenori Kawasaki with his first big league home run. A 2-run shot with 2 outs in the 7th off Tommy Hunter. We're knotted up at 6 each. Change some words after the strikeout. You can see Bautista strikes out, and then O'Day animated as he walked off the mound, and Bautista took exception to something he may have said. O'Day just had a casual word for him, but Bautista asking him what he said. And then Angel Hernandez gets in between, and I don't know what prompted that or where that came from. But it's all tied up at 6-6. O'Day strikes out Bautista. We are in the 8th. Brett Cecil came in to the ball game in the 7th and retired the side. Ball and a strike. Rajay Davis into the ball game as a pinch runner takes over defensively in left field for Melky Cabrera. Here's a bus. Markakis inside. Markakis is 0 for 2 with a walk. He walked and scored in that 4-run 6th inning.
Well, it isn't often that John Gibbons and Pete Walker send Brett Cecil back out there for a 2nd inning, but he's done it.
I think a lot of it had to do with Nick Markakis starting this inning.
Yep.
Let's see where you're at in the lineup.
And Steve Delabar, the right-hander, is throwing now. Has been for a while.
Well, that's a good breaking ball. He can throw it when he's behind. Markakis has hit well against Cecil in the past. He's 8 for 21. That's a .381 average, but this is a different Brett Cecil than Markakis has seen in the past. Full count, nobody out. Strike 3 call. Second strikeout for Cecil, 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Thank you, Jamie. Also interesting in Buffalo, Kevin Pillar was promoted from AA, and he got a base hit in his first AAA at bat tonight. Adam Jones hits it high and deep into center. Rasmus breaking it down in front of the track. Gets there and makes the catch.
Well, I want to go back to the at-bat with Nick Markakis there. Brett Cecil falls behind him 3-1, and he throws a perfect breaking ball for a strike. And what that tells the hitter is this guy can throw anything. And he probably was thinking, all right, another breaking ball's coming. And he freezes him with a fastball. So great sequence of pitches for Brett Cecil. And he just keeps rolling.
Chris Davis. Davis has homered again tonight. His 12th home run against the Blue Jays since the start of the 2012 season. Boy, that is money when you can throw that breaking ball when you're behind.
But here's the other thing. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for Brett Cecil to be careful with Davis here. If he ends up falling behind and not pitch to him, not the worst thing. You got Matt Wieters coming up next. He doesn't have to worry about it now. He's got 2 strikes. Now he can try to run one out of the zone and see if the big man will chase one.
There's Matt Wieters, a switch hitter, getting loose as a right-hander. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A little looper into left. Rajay Davis coming quickly, makes the running catch. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a 6-6 game. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. Brought to you by the 2013 Honda CR-V and IIHS Top Safety Pick. Honda is the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
And this may just be the drive of his career. First home run at the major league level for Munenori Kawasaki. Gets a hanging breaking ball, and he drives it all the way over the right field fence. Comes back and basically gets a king's welcome from his teammates. That's our drive of the game.
They are singing in the streets of Fukuoka, Japan, as Munenori Kawasaki is at his first big league home run in a big AL East matchup. And I tell you what, his teammates are just as happy for him as he is.
I think we are. He's fun to be around.
Edwin Encarnacion out in front of that offering from Darren O'Day. Looking up, he's at the track. He makes the catch, and Encarnacion just missed it.
Yeah, just got under it a little bit. You thought it might have had a chance, but then you could see that it wasn't carrying. And that'll bring out the acting manager again. We'll see if there's another pitching change to be made.
Brian Mattis, the left-hander, will come into the ball game. Adam Lind is the hitter, so Darren O'Day is out. Mattis is in, and Lind will come to the plate. Is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. As we would expect, the two teams are very close, and the line score is exactly the same. 6 runs on 7 hits and no errors, and each team has stranded 2. Adam Lind takes the first pitch from Brian Mattis upstairs.
And there's the new reliever, Brian Mattis. He too has done a good job out of the bullpen. ERA a little bit elevated for a relief pitcher, but he's a situational guy. He'll be brought in to try to get out the hot-hitting left-handed Adam Lind.
Lind is 1 for 4 against Mattis. And as we have mentioned several times, it doesn't make any difference who Lind is facing. He has been hitting everyone. And when you look at Lind's numbers against lefties, 14 for 32 this season. That's a .438 average with a home run.
I guess that says he can hit both lefties and righties. Not worried about it.
He's going to get a chance. He drives this ball to the gap. Markakis on the run will get there and haul it in. Lind hit it hard.
The 2013 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car 15 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful night in Toronto. The CN Tower high above the Rogers Center. And it was a gorgeous afternoon. It's turned into a spectacular evening, and we've got a whale of a ball game. Colby Rasmus takes the first pitch strike from Brian Mattis.
You get the sense that the city's starting to understand what's cooking down here with this ball club, and it's electric here tonight. Team coming back. It's almost playoff baseball atmosphere.
Well, these two clubs have battled all year long. As we mentioned, the Orioles have a 4-3 advantage in the season series. They won the series a year ago, 11-7. That was the first time that they have won a season series since 2004. Blue Jays have held a distinct advantage. 0-2 to Rasmus outside. But you're right, there is a buzz in the city all of a sudden, and why not? They've won 8 straight. That's the longest winning streak in the majors. And now they're playing the first of 10 straight games against the AL East. Chance to really make some hay. Rasmus pops it up. Jones drifts in and gets there and makes the grab. The inning is over. Brian Mattis comes out of the bullpen and ends the 8th. We'll go to the 9th. It's a 6-6 game. Here comes Casey Janssen. New pitcher for the Blue Jays is Casey Janssen, making his 25th appearance of the season. Matt Wieters, the catcher, will start things off against Janssen. It's a 6-6 ball game, and Casey misses with the first pitch off the plate inside. Brett Cecil goes 2 innings and once again allows no hits. Batters officially 0 for 5 against Brett Cecil. The ball hit into the air in center. Colby Rasmus ranges to his left. Wieters is retired, 1 down in the 9th. So Casey Janssen and Brett Cecil, 2 relievers in this ball game. Cecil has now extended his hitless streak to 0 for 40. batters haven't had a hit in their last 40 at bats against Brett Cecil. That's a no-hitter plus some. He is dealing out of that bullpen, isn't he?
Yeah, he's closing on back-to-back Johnny Vandermeer numbers right there.
J.J. Hardy has homered in this ballgame. He's also single. Hit a home run off R.A. Dickey with 2 outs in the second, and had a infield hit off of Dickey that hit Dickey's glove in the 5th. Ball on a strike. Paint on the outside corner. Keep it there, you won't have any trouble. One and 2. Casey Jansen getting some help from the defense. Emilio Bonifacio catches the liner.
Well, J.J. Hardy does a real good job of just going with the pitch there, and he hits a line drive. But the atom ball sometimes pitcher's best friend. Emilio catches the ball. See what we do as pitchers?
Just help your infielders.
We're just jumping a little for the infielders.
Little fly ball into center. Asmus on the run. Bonifacio goes out, makes the catch. What an inning for Casey Jansen. Retires the side and over, turns it over to the offense. It'll be Asturis, Tolle, Bonifacio in this tie ball game. To you by Bacardi Oakheart Smooth Spiced Rum. Bacardi is a proud partner of the Toronto Blue Jays.
And we already have seen the fact that Munenori gets his first home run as a big leaguer. He comes around, but I think the smooth move goes right there to his teammate, Mark Burley. He pushes him out so the whole crowd can see his patented bow and appreciate and applaud what he accomplished. Mark Burley, the smooth move of the game.
Kawasaki's 2-run home run in the 7th tied the game at 6-6. Now he's checking with Chad Mottola about what he might see from Brian Mattis. Kawasaki is the 4th batter scheduled to hit here in the bottom of the 9th. Myceris Sturis got a leadoff single against Tommy Hunter in the 7th and scored on Kawasaki's 2-run homer. There is a buzz in this ballpark. Blue Jays have fought back after giving up a 4 spot in the 6th. Another base hit for Sturis. His 2nd hit of the night. He's been on base 3 times. A leadoff single here in the 9th.
Well, the Blue Jays going to make the best of their opportunity. Casey Jansen in the game in an unusual spot, but not an unusual result for him. And he might be able to pick up a win here if his team can rally and move the runner over. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to try to hit and run, bunt, what they'll do here to try to get Myceris Sturis over to second base.
So Josh Tolle is batting against the left-handed pitcher. That would make you believe he's into bunt. Machado at third, right on top of him, and boy, it's a good bunt. Perfect bunt right out in front of home, and Tolle does his job.
Well, that's twice tonight that Josh Tolley has done the little things to help his team. The hit and run earlier in the game to move Meister into scoring position that ended up in a run. And right now, that bunt that he laid down perfectly gets him over there again. Good job for Josh Tolley.
Boy, that's a tough pitch to bunt down. He stays with it, and he took his body down to the baseball. And he went down and bunted it right out in front of home. Perfect execution by Tolley. And remember, he banged the ball off his shin earlier in the ball game in his last at bat. Mark DeRosa has grabbed a bat. He's loosening up. He will hit for Emilio Bonifacio. So DeRosa will take the intentional walk. So they will load up first base. Kawasaki is on deck. Kawasaki with his home run. Becomes the oldest Blue Jay player to pick up his first major league home run. Ken Huckabee had that distinction until Kawasaki hit the home run in the seventh.
The shortstop, number 66, Munenori Kawasaki.
Well, you can see what the fans think of Kawasaki. Got a standing O as he is announced. Winning run at second.
Well, he's done everything else tonight. He might as well pick up the game winner, too.
Munenori Kawasaki behind 0-2. He stays alive. First of three against the Orioles, and it's been a doozy. Historis at second, DeRosa at first. Outside. Munenori Kawasaki had the game-winning double against the Orioles on May 26th right here at Rogers Center. A two-run double. And that's what prompted the I am Japanese speech post-game. He's got a chance to do it again.
Well, he may not get the big hit right here, but he's helping wearing down Brian Mattis with another grind out at bat.
2-2.
7 pitches. And look at his teammates. Edwin Encarnacion as happy as he's ever been in the big leagues right now.
Bouncing ball, Fleury swipes at the runner, DeRosa. He is safe at second. Kawasaki is out at first. DeRosa moves to second. Kawasaki is out. Now there are 2 outs. And John Russell, the acting manager, is walking toward the mound. Buck Showalter was ejected in the 2nd inning. So Mattis will hand off to Pedro Strop, the right-hander. Rajai Davis is the batter when we come back in this 6-6 game. Well, if this is any indication of the rest of this series, it's going to be a great weekend at Rogers Center. Pedro Strop into the ball game, the 4th Oriole reliever, making his 27th appearance of the season. It's a 6-6 game with 2 outs in the 9th. The winning run just 90 feet away. Meister is Storis. Rajai Davis batting for the first time. Jumps back from an inside heater. Rajai had the game-winning hit on Saturday, June 8th in the 18th inning off Ross Wolf to win it. Fouled it off the glove of Wieters. $35,472 on hand for the first of 3 against the Orioles. And Munenori Kawasaki got them back into the game with his first big league homer in the 7th. Ball and a strike. Base hit! The Blue Jays will win it! Rajai Davis for a 2nd time this year. A walk-off base hit.
Well, it's not the playoffs and it's not the World Series, but right now there is some kind of energy in this stadium. The fans showing their appreciation. Rajai Davis comes up huge with that hit. Great night, great win, great job for the bullpen. The boys fought back, and Munenori Kawasaki continues to grow as a legend here in Toronto.
Well played ball game. Casey Jansen picks up the win. Kawasaki with his first big league home run, and Rajin Davis with the game-winning base hit. Davis is only at bat, delivers the win. He entered the game as a pinch runner in the 7th. And the Blue Jays improved to 13-4 in June and have evened their record at 500, 36-36. Munenori Kawasaki, his first big league home run, 3 RBIs on the night. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon. Connected, coming right up.